Friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. It's actually not that serious. Today we're talking signatures, but not the type with your hand, the type with your body.
What?
When you spray the stuff on your body and then the smell comes off of you, that type of signature. More specifically, wintertime signatures. Perfection. Look, you can keep going on your whole life smelling like a putz, and that's your fault, because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you smell better. That way, if I ever meet you on the street, I can be like, you took my advice. You smell pretty good.
That's all.
It's a normal way that guys greet each other. It's not weird. All of these are going to be linked in the description below, and I'm packing a couple of them right here in the blazer thing, jacket. That's why it's weighed down. It's heavy stuff in my pockets. The first fragrance I want to share with you comes to us from none other than Pepe Jeans. It's this one. That's right, Pepe Jeans, this one. Pretty good. It's called London Calling. Yeah, it's named after the Clash, I guess, I don't know, or a Clash song. This stuff is very affordable, assuming that you shop at discounters. And as an added bonus, practically nobody is gonna be wearing this. Because when you really think about it, lots and lots of people out there don't wear fragrances, like, at all. That's how you can tell the aliens. Aliens don't wear fragrances. Those people not wearing fragrances, they have clearly been abducted. Those are not real people. I'm just playing, that's not serious. I don't want some weird dude out there to be like, oh my God, I knew it. I'm gonna kidnap one of them and hold them in my basement until they admit that they're an alien. Please do not do that. That is highly weird and not normal, dude.
How can you tell she's an alien?
Well, the signs are obvious. They did a hell of a job on it, but the tells are there.
Back to reality, like I was saying, a lot of people don't wear fragrances at all. So even like stuff like Dior Sauvage, you may not smell that very often at all out in public. And something like this, you will smell probably never, unless you're the one wearing it. Really affordable, very attention grabbing. It's got a great sweetness to it. Vaguely reminiscent of something like Stronger With You, but fresher than that one. It has the note of chutney, which is very interesting, never see that. Which you may either think of that as a weird thing or a cool thing. I think of it as a cool thing, but somebody out there might be like, why would I want to wear chutney? The answer is because it smells good. You dingus. Performance is pretty solid on this as well. Great versatility. So even though I have this in a wintertime list, this is not your typical wintertime fragrance. It's not like, you know, really heavy and overly spicy. Like there's some of that going on, but it has enough freshness, as I mentioned before, or at least I think I mentioned before, that you can wear this in more seasons, more situations, and at that price point, can't go wrong. The next one is Rayhan's Obsidian, which this is a newer release. I just got this in very recently, and I was super intrigued by it. And let me tell you why. It's because it's supposed to be a clone or alternative to Dior Homme Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum, yes. The original Dior Homme Parfum, that's what I was expecting with this one. But I will tell you, it is not straight up. I am a moron. I was going to say it is not straight up spray the original Dior Homme Parfum. One little problem, the atomizer was facing the other direction. My hand full on took the brunt of that blast. Great, it's strong. My hand is very perfumed. Go eat like some potato chips later or something and just, forgot about that. It's too strong. Anyway, Dior Homme Parfum. Yes, it is absolutely Dior Homme Parfum, but it does lean more towards the new Dior Homme Parfum. So when you spray this one on, the iris is gonna hit you in much the same way that it does in the new version of Dior Homme Parfum. Now, to me, that's the best part of the new Dior Homme Parfum. I think the iris is really super pleasant off the top. And as I said, this one leans more in that direction. So you're not gonna get as much of that, you know, leather and those powerful undertones that the original Dior Homme Parfum has. This one leans a little bit more wearable. Again, like the new version. Now you might say it's not the exact same as the new version of Dior Homme Parfum, maybe it's like a mix between the two, but it definitely leans more towards the new side with just a little bit of that extra, almost creaminess that the original Dior Homme Parfum had and Dior Homme Intense and stuff like that. So with Rayhan Obsidian, Brain just shutting off. This one is Dior Homme Parfum New with a twist of old, leaning more new. Now, it is an attention grabber, and in typical Rayhan fashion, it packs a punch. That is one of the things that I think they're trying to do more, is like Rayhan fragrances being kind of beastly, because a lot of the fragrances they've had come out have leaned more towards that side, like trying to really amplify the performance. So you do get that going on as well, which makes it pretty nice for winter time. What was that? I don't even know what that was. Moustache is the next fragrance from Rokas. I mustache you a question. This little guy right here, also affordable from discounters, as one of the reasons people love it so much. That and the fact that the quality is high as a kite. It smells similar to YSL Tuxedo, so it's gonna give you a very similar vibe to that one. Rich, resinous sweetness when you spray this one on and into the dry down. Very, very classy. This is more like a special occasion fragrance, a night out fragrance. And it's another one that we all know, but a lot of your average people out there, they got no clue this thing exists. And it does double up as looking like a very nice high-end gentleman's fragrance, just in terms of the presentation and the heft to it. So if you had it sitting on your mantle, for some reason, I'm not sure where you would do that, or your dresser, or wherever, it's gonna look nice. You're gonna look like you know what you're doing with your life. We could all use a little help with that from time to time. I got my life together, don't worry about me. I did not stay up until 2 a.m. playing video games and have to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to work. Just hating life, just chugging caffeine. That's not me, what are you talking about? I would never do that. Burberry Hero, the next fragrance, the Eau de Parfum. For me, this is the best Hero. If you were gonna get just one, that's the one to get. Of course, with it being the Eau de Parfum, it's gonna be a little bit deeper, a little bit higher quality smelling than the Eau de Toilette, though the Eau de Toilette is very good for versatility. If you're looking for one that you could wear pretty much year round, it's probably the one you want. But this one takes that cedar backbone that the Eau de Toilette has and adds in, kind of like mustache over here, a nice resinous warmth and touch of sweetness in there. Not that it smells like this, just that it has some similar vibes in terms of the construction. Good performance, magnetic cap, always a fan favorite. And by fan favorite, I mean, I'm just a fan, and it is a favorite of mine. And Hero, also a great compliment puller, so really ticks all the boxes you want for a signature scent. Versatility during fall and winter time, mass appeal, good quality, price is decent, and just something that you're going to enjoy wearing, kind of a confidence booster. Before I reach into my pocket and pull out the next fragrance, I want to give you guys some codes. The first code is follow me on TikTok if you're there at Gents Scents. Oh, that's not a very good code, but yes, please do that. Thank you, love you. Then there are all these codes that you see here that you can use across a bunch of different websites. JOMASHOP, for example, Gift Express, even Lucky Scent, yes sir. Any of those codes you can use across those websites to save yourself some cash, some Robert De Niro. The next fragrance is this one, Armaf Tempo Tune Orchestra. Another one that just looks classy. This right here proves that when Armaf wants to, they can do a presentation that is not overly loud and tacky. Sometimes they just want to keep it nice and refined. Like me, wearing an Alan Wake 2 t-shirt with a blazer. Atomizer though. Can't win them all. This one's gonna give you kind of a barbershop vibe, you know, classic fougere with a nice sweetness and warmth to it. It's definitely for the gentleman out there, okay? If you're a younger guy, if we're talking teens, early 20s, something like that, you're probably gonna smell this and be like, too old for me, bro. It definitely has remnants of like Penhaligon's, Fragrance du Bois type of vibes. It's just that type of signature scent for somebody looking for something that is going to fit in more formal occasions, that also has enough wearability that they can wear it casually as well. Really good stuff, though it is fairly new. So like at JOMASHOP, it was in stock and then out of stock. Like right as when I'm filming this, it's out of stock. Other places have it, but be aware that some of the places that have it in stock right now, they're charging like 60, 70 bucks, and JOMASHOP had it for like 45, so just be aware. Now this next one is a wild card. It does not officially count as the top 10, so there will be 11 in today's video. And the fragrance I have as a wild card is this, Versace's The Dreamer. I love The Dreamer. Unapologetically, I still dig this stuff. I think the presentation looks great. Like, this walks that line of giving you something that maybe some people back in the day would have said is slightly tacky, but is also really attention grabbing. And I think that nowadays, most of us can agree it's not tacky. It's cool now because things have progressed. Tackiness has gone further. The envelope has been pushed. It looks cool though, and it's cheap. It's really unique, especially compared to most other things out there. It is another one, so like 2 in a row, where younger guys I don't think are gonna like it as much. Kind of like a lavender tobacco aromatic bomb when you spray it on, but the tobacco is not your kind of honey tobacco, pipe tobacco. It's more like your slightly hay sort of tobacco vibe, if that makes any sense. I think this stuff is great though. It's one of those ones that when I haven't smelled it for a long time, I come back to it and it's just like nostalgia, and it's still wearable. I don't care what anybody says. Wild card. All right, boys, next one. Phantom. I know when people see the Phantom, they think to themselves, no robot overlord from me. And that's actually reflected in the sales because Phantom has not been doing quite as well in the US here as of late, but that works out because like I talked about earlier, that means less people wearing it makes it a little more of an interesting choice for you or whoever. Phantom Intense is probably gonna be the best bet for most people if they want just one Phantom fragrance. I think it's better done than the original. Has a great compliment factor, very easy to wear. Once again, nice sweetness that makes it fit in with a lot of things out nowadays. It's got cardamom, lavender, lemon, rhubarb, vanilla, among other notes. And it's just a nice, easy wearing balance of sweet and fresh mixed together that works really well during winter, also fall and even spring. A lot of people are gonna just immediately write it off because of the bottle, but this stuff right here, if you are looking for something that has, like I said, a great mass appeal to it that is not quite as popular as you would expect, worth checking out. Zenith Tobacco up next. This one by French Avenue, which smells like tobacco. So we were talking about tobacco before with the Dreamer and how that's not a honey tobacco and all of that. This one is. Yeah, this one has a nice honey tobacco. It has tonka in there as well. So quite sweet from the opening into the dry down. Really good longevity, sticks on your skin forever, clothing even longer, projects very well also, and obviously smells way more expensive than it costs. I know that Dior Tobacco is not maybe the #1 most hyped tobacco fragrance ever. It got a decent amount of love when it came out, but not like astronomical or anything. But this stuff, if you like sweetened up tobaccos, is top notch. This is one of the better French Avenue clones of the past year. Really good. I got another Versace. This one is a fragrance that I actually used as sort of a signature scent for a while. I feel like maybe a year and a half, I was wearing this stuff out. And it is this Oud Noir. This comes from an older time. Well, not that much older, but still an older time. Back when every house had to have an oud release. Oud for you. Oud for me. Yeah, it was back then where everybody had an oud fragrance. Varvatos had they had one oud fragrance, but it was Vince Camuto had 2 oud fragrances. Camuto, I said it weird. Camuto, Vince Camuto. They had smoked oud and then just regular old oud. So yeah, the designer houses, they could not get themselves enough of that oud action. Everybody jumped on that train, and it was like that for at least a few years. And then it was like as quickly as it came, it was gone. Suddenly no more oud flankers. I feel like the last big designer house that really kind of came out with an oud push was Hugo Boss. They had Boss bottled oud, which I really liked, but then they came out with oud saffron and oud aromatic. And I could be missing some, completely possible, but I feel like that was like the last big push of designer oud releases, those two. And honestly, those weren't even a huge push. They kind of came out with a whimper and just went bling. And depending on which house you're looking at, some of those oud fragrances you can still find pretty easily. Others, you really can't. Thankfully, this one is one of the ones that you can still find. So there is that. Now it has a good amount of spiciness. There's saffron in here, which gives a touch of sweetness. You've got black pepper off the top as well. Got a bit of cardamom in there, of course, woodiness, oud being one of the main woods that you're gonna find in here. And it reminds some people of Tom Ford's oud wood. More specifically off the top, it's got a lot of similarities to oud wood. As it dries down, it kind of does its own thing. It's also a little bit similar to Versace Man, which is discontinued. We're talking Versace Man, not Man Eau Fraiche. Very different. So during fall and winter time, I think this stuff still, to this day, smells absolutely killer. It is more of a sophisticated kind of woody, spicy fragrance. Not overly sweet, but it smells great, and the presentation looks even better. Gotta get a L'Homme in here. Always gotta get one of those in here, it feels like. This time, going with this one. L'Intense. This is the original bottle style, all blacked out. Nowadays, they've kind of cheaped out on the presentation, so most of them all look pretty much the same. Looks like this nowadays. I prefer the old school bottle. Yeah, nicer. So with this one, you're gonna have almond, you're also gonna have leather, kind of a smoky aspect to it. Tonka, vanilla, cardamom, bringing out sweetness that helps balance it out, you know, keeps it from going too heavy down one direction, you know, keeps it from being too dark and unwearable. The performance is there, the quality is there, it's an amazing scent. And of this line, this one flies under the radar much more than the Eau de Parfum and Extreme. So even among people who really like fragrances and obviously know about this line, this one oftentimes is a little bit less heralded, less worn. And this is a line that I would love to see come back with a little more gusto, you know, see some new fragrances, some new life breathed into this line, because it has been kind of on life support for a while. So L'Homme absolutely still worth rocking. And if it ever becomes discontinued, like the whole lineup, scoop those bottles. Last one, Scandal Le Parfum. So much like the original Scandal, this one has kind of a mix of aromatic deepness and then sweetness. So sort of this caramel-esque vibe going on. Even though caramel is not an official note, you can still smell that. There's also tonka in here, geranium and sandalwood. Yes, it is a boring 3-note note breakdown. And this is gonna come across just a little bit richer, a little bit higher end smelling than the original Scandal, though that one is also absolutely killer during fall and winter time. This does lean more toward evening use, so keep that in mind, but it is so easy to wear that you could pull this off during the day pretty easily also. So there we go. There are technically 11 fragrances right there. During the winter, you will find something here that you can make yours. And then everyone will smell it and think that it is yours because it's your signature scent. So you own it technically. That's how it works, I think. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.